Welcome to Venture Cafe Presents. I'm Christine Dunn, and we are here tonight at Brandeis University at the second annual Innovation Showcase, where a variety of students here from across the campus are showcasing their innovations and their new ideas for business. Joining me here right now is Ian Roy. He runs the Maker Lab here on campus at Brandeis University. Thank you for joining.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So Ian, tell us why a Maker Lab on campus, how that's helped to foster the innovation community here at Brandeis.
Sure. So we don't have an engineering department at Brandeis. So we have a lot of hard research sciences and we have a lot of liberal arts. And we see our place in the middle area is bridging the gap between science and technology, where you need engineering, but now the tool set has gotten so good that you don't need an engineering degree. We can bootstrap you from science fiction to a prototype without it even being a concentration of study. So we want to take the energy of the liberal arts and the research sciences and then get them somewhere where they can create a concept from it.
Is that challenging though, not having an engineering school here in terms of support, in terms of resources, or even just in terms of knowledge and understanding if a student wants to execute on an idea?
It's definitely challenging. A lot of times people don't understand what's feasible. So a lot of our thing is expectation setting, showing them the materials or processes or workflows that can get them somewhere. Because a lot of times they have these moonshot projects they want to do, and we have to turn that into something that's conceivable and achievable on their time scale.
So when you were thinking about designing this Maker Lab, what were some of the key resources you knew you had to have in order to support this group?
Absolutely. So there are 4 tool sets that I look at as vital to our environment. And this is also like local flavor. Like this is going to be different for each resource institution or community that has a Maker Lab. But for us, it's digital fabrication tools, which right now are 3D printers. For us, mostly extruded plastic, because we're in the library and there's over 1 million books in the building, so we don't have ventilation. So we're only doing extruded plastic right now. Second tool set is digitization tools, so 3D scanners. Underlying technologies like photogrammetry, structured light scanning. We support a bunch of digitization of ancient objects and of modern objects that people want to reverse engineer or prototype around. Third tool set is virtual reality and augmented reality. So not only head-mounted displays, but touch and gesture inputs, multi-screen environments, caves. And then the fourth tool set is embedded systems and prototyping. So drones, robotics, anything with an Arduino or a Raspberry Pi. Where I think we're the only group on campus that teaches a soldering course weekly. So digital fabrication, digitization, virtual reality, and embedded systems are our tool set.
So does that reflect major trends that you're seeing in general in innovation?
Yeah, so for us, that's the tool set that you can skip the engineering degree and go from, I'm an entrepreneur with a concept, I want a prototype. I can get there with those 4 supports.
What is your background in terms of how did you decide to get involved in this?
So I am an undergrad from Brandeis. I graduated in 2005. I studied economics, philosophy, and film here. And then I went to Los Angeles and I worked at a high-end jeweler for 6 years. And everything the jeweler made was 3D printed in wax and then lost wax cast into a precious metal. So I ran my first 3D print in 2005, and I've been around the technology for a long time. Coming back to Brandeis, I came here to work as staff in the library technology unit, and started the research technology support, mainstreaming support of strange research endpoints in the field, usually that run instrument machines like electron microscopes or mass spectrometers or DNA sequencers. And from there we saw if they had this tool set, they could do more in those research endeavors. And part of our entry into Maker Lab from my HR role was, wouldn't it be great if instead of helping them fix all these old broken machines, we could help them on the current rat cycle with what their current research is on, rather than maintaining older systems. So we moved into that conversation with the help of a lot of student agency, which is also unique at Brandeis. When we started the Maker Lab, there was 1 technology club on campus, and now there's almost 10 technology clubs that are all funded and work on projects.
When you think about the vision for the Maker Lab moving forward, how has that evolved from where it started?
So it started sort of as enabling more possibility in the community, but it's turned really into a social justice mission reflecting all of the Brandeis community, where it's sort of the make to mend is one of our mottos, and the term is Tikkun Olam, which is repair the world. It's a Jewish concept that all of our projects are in some way targeted as something social justice oriented or for social good in our community.
So that's kind of an interesting concept, because I would think that that's uncommon compared with other Maker Labs and their purposes.
Yes. And also our tool set reflects that local flavor. So we have a flipped model. We see a lot of universities where they get 50 of the same printer. We have over 65 different printers. And they have different geometries and are good at different materials and creating different shapes and possibilities. So instead of sending us a file where the file poof comes out of a magical machine, we have a model where you can rent a machine and you can rent a staff member to sit with you, but you own your whole workflow. We see a lot of maker labs where people put the designer on a pedestal above the technician, and we want everyone to be a designer technician and to own their whole workflow so that they can iterate back and forth across it.
I see. And then by creating that understanding, hopefully be able to move that forward themselves with the technology.
Yes.
So really empowering them.
And we want them to understand the underlying technologies. So for us, there's a big literacy component there, where it's not just like press a button, make it come out, but understand what your workflow does, own the whole workflow, and maybe improve the workflow itself, or improve the underlying technology.
Do you find that a lot of students are intimidated by the thought of using the technology?
A lot of people come to us when this is sci-fi, and actually our best students were in the coolest projects. This was science fiction when day one they walked in, they'd never printed, they'd never created a virtual space. But within a week or two, we can onboard them. The tools have just gotten so good that you don't need a background in this. So we're trying to look at like a way to make modules or components or workshops that play with the coursework and the research on campus.
Wonderful. Well, Ian, thank you so much for joining us here tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
Wonderful. For Venture Cafe Presents, I'm Christine Dunn.